on the phone during the game by the skipper of the Triple-A Knights, Mark Grudzielanek. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Doing great. Doing great. What's the season been like so far with all the prospects that you've got in that clubhouse?
Well, it's busy. I mean, there's a lot of cameras and pictures and interviews. There's some special kids here, and they're fun to watch and fun to coach.
Well, you played a wonderful middle infield in your time. I remember you, especially with Montreal. And being a middle infielder, you're seeing a middle infielder in Yoan Moncada. Just exactly how does he rate with you?
Well, when I first saw him in spring training, he was, he had some things and some flaws. He, young but physically, wow, what a specimen. Especially to have all the tools, 5'2" individual who can do pretty much everything, and he's definitely gifted. So it was fun to watch, and it's awesome. He's a great kid. To get to know him, the way he plays the game, he plays hard, he gets after it. So it's been a joy. Again, he has all the talent, and the sky's the limit for this young man.
Mark, what's he improved at most so far this year?
No question, it's been his defensive side. His footwork has gotten better. He's tightened everything up. He's shorter. He's quicker on his turns at second base. He's really focusing on each and every ball like it's the last out of the World Series. So this is something that he's intense out there defensively. He's really trying to take some hits away from the kid. So I would say the defensive side.
You've got some pretty good pitching talent down there, and you saw something that you don't see very often. That was Lucas Giolito throwing a no-hitter. How about the progression of him from the start of the season to where he is now?
Well, it's definitely, it's a huge, as far as the things that happened in his last start, that's something really special. So he's coming along, and I think mostly it's his command of his fastball to where he can work his off-speed. If he can do that, then he can be really special. And that's pretty much with everybody. You get behind, you're going to get in trouble. So, but when he establishes his fastball, and then he can throw his breaking balls, and he has a really good curveball when he throws it, and everything was in sync the other night, and it just happened to be against his former team. So it was something really special for him.
Mark, one of the names that we saw in spring training, which got everybody's attention, and nothing that's happened during this season has dissuaded us from thinking that Nicky Delmonico has got a special bat. How does he look to you?
Well, there's no question. He's a special person in my eyes. He's awesome in the clubhouse. He's a great kid. And then when you talk about what he does for us on the field is tremendous. He's out there each and every day. He works his butt off. He does the little things out there that help you win games, and then you add his bat, and he can swing it. I play him, against the lefties also. Stays in there as good as he can, and does a really, really good job for us. And he's a big leaguer in my eyes. There's no question about that.
Mark, how about Zach Birdie? What's he improved on this year?
Zach's been, again, everybody knows he's a tremendous talent out there, and he's a back-end guy, and his command has gotten a lot better. He's really, the confidence is there. You ask, well, he throws 100. Well, it's different. When you do that, and you lose a little command, and you go to your slider a little bit, but he's done some wonderful things. He's getting control of everything, and he threw last night, and that's what we're used to seeing here. He went up there 3 up, 3 down, and struck out a couple, did a wonderful job there, and he's just improving each time out.
You may not be able to see it right now, but your guy Tyler Danish has just struck out the first 2 batters at the top of the 2nd inning. How's that make you feel?
Well, I was a little bit worried in that first inning there. When you get a little extra wind, Stevie, on those sinker ballers, and you give them a little more rest.
Yeah, little adrenaline with a strong arm, and the sinker doesn't sink. Mark, you love to hit against sinkers that didn't sink.
Oh, absolutely. So I was just crossing my fingers him to get out of the first. I think he's going to settle down here and give you some quality innings here.
Who's the biggest personality in your clubhouse right now down there?
Well, Delmonico, I would think, is He keeps things loose in there for the guys in the clubhouse. He's funny. He laughs a little bit. He gets everybody, you know, in a great attitude. And you know, it's supposed to be fun here, and it definitely is. We got a good group of guys. And even Moncada's loosening up a little bit. Saw him dancing at the end of the dugout the other day, and he's feeling right in here and feeling comfortable.
You've had all the experiences that you could have coming up through the minor leagues, being a star in the major leagues. Now you're dealing with a lot of young kids, and we had Jacob May at the beginning of the year. He just couldn't get on track, but he's seemingly hitting everything in sight at Triple-A. So if he's going to make the transition to come back, what are the things he's got to work on, or is it just belief that he can do it?
Well, you know how that is. You get caught up in certain things, and you know, as a young player, you get up there and not having success right away. It might take a little time. I mean, to believe in yourself and get that confidence back. And this is something that's really good for him coming down here and having success like he has here in Triple-A. So, but there's no question. I mean, he's an electric young man. He plays defense, you know, very, very well. And you know, I think it's really, he has to get that pitch selection is really key for him. Stay off the high pitches. With what I've seen here in the short time I had him, he controls that a little bit, has a pretty good approach, and has a plan up there. I think he makes some solid contact. He's been bunting like crazy up here, or down here, I should say, and putting a lot of pressure on their defense. So, and that's the type of player he is.
Real quick before we let you go, what's your favorite moment so far that people may not know about in the Charlotte Knights season?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I mean, I got to tell you, Charlotte's a beautiful city. The stadium's wonderful. The fans here are great. It's a pleasure to be here and coach these kids. So I'm just overwhelmed with the whole situation here. It's definitely enjoyable, and I love working with these guys.
Well, Mark, really appreciate the time. Thanks for jumping on with us, and we will talk to you hopefully at some point soon down the line.
Oh, thanks, Jason, Steve. Have a good one.
Good
Thanks,
luck,
guys.
Mark.